Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Dedrick Russell. We want to head back out to that breaking news where Police Chief Rodney Monroe is now addressing the press. Let's take a listen.
Officer fired his weapon.
That was Police Chief Rodney Monroe giving us the details of tonight's shooting. Again, this is what we hear is that a teenager shot by a CMPD officer, 3 to 4 shots. The teenager was shot in the lower leg. The civil rights movement took center stage 50 years ago today in Selma, Alabama.
And Daddy, I hope you're having a good time. What are you eating?
Try talking now.
Brigida, I am having a very good time. And I'm having a good time eating this popcorn. Check it out. Looks good, doesn't it?
You see smiles all over the Charlotte viewing area. Will those smiles continue tomorrow?
They will.
Well, the cold didn't keep people away on opening day at Carowinds. Maintaining it can be a beast.
That's not fun. No.
Why? Because when you open the door, there is this fence, and it could be challenging for people trying to get out of this place. In other news, this fugitive, 40-year-old Jonathan McCorkle, is behind bars tonight after he led police on a high-speed chase and kidnapped a woman. He is now facing a slew of charges as neighbors were startled this morning. WBTV was there first as he was taken into custody. Take a look. These are Jonathan McCorkle's charges just from last night's dramatic episode. They include assault on a female, assault with a deadly weapon, speeding to possession of a stolen gun. Police say cops have been looking for McCorkle in Monroe, Rock Hill, and here in Charlotte. Officers were on his trail last night to pick him up on several felony warrants. That's when the suspect led police on a 2-hour chase in this white SUV.
It was a bit shocking, like waking up to that kind of thing, and the lighting and everything is really kind of nerve-wracking.
The chase started at Ricky J's Sports Bar and Grill. That's when McCorkle allegedly went in and grabbed a woman. He tried to push her into his car, but she got away. We are then told at that time customers got into a fight with McCorkle, and that's when he flashed a weapon and left.
Can give you a better reason to look over your shoulder, definitely.
The chase came to an end after 2 tires on the SUV were blown out and the suspect crashed here on East Boulevard. That didn't stop him, though. He got out and tried to flee, but police quickly caught him. Now, capturing McCorkle was a team effort. CMPD tells us it ended the chase when the suspect entered Gaston County. State troopers took it from there and pursued McCorkle until the end. Well, right now, Charlotte-Mecklenburg police are investigating a shooting in North Charlotte that left 1 person dead and sent another to the hospital. Police say Samil Bates was shot in the stomach. He was taken to the hospital but did not make it. No word on how the other victim is doing. The shooting happened at a home on Pauline Lane off Beatty's Ford Road around 9:30 last night. We're told an argument led to the violence. If you have any information that can help investigators, you're asked to call the number right there on your screen, Crime Stoppers, 704-334-1600. A scary-looking crash in Gaston County this morning. The Gastonia Fire Department shared these pictures with us. They say 1 person was taken to the hospital after the wreck on East Franklin Boulevard. You can see the damage to the 2 vehicles involved. No word on what caused that crash or how the person who was taken to the hospital is doing tonight. Right now, an early morning fire in northwest Charlotte is under investigation. It happened around 7 this morning at a home on Hart Road at Susanna Drive. No word on what started the flames or if there were any injuries. We'll bring you any new information as soon as we get it. New at 6. You hear it, a full house at the ZMAX Dragway in Concord this afternoon. The NHRA 4-Wide Nationals are underway. Officials tell us today's grandstand tickets sold out, and they were selling tickets for standing room only. Fans from 48 states watched qualifying this morning.
It's an incredible experience.
The racing continues tomorrow morning. Gates open at 8. Right now, some difficult moments for firefighters trying to put out flames at a home just outside of Uptown. Crews were called out to Grandin Street just before 5 tonight. That's where WBTV's Colleen Harry is right now. Now, Colleen, I understand firefighters experienced some problems out there?
Well, yeah, they ran into some issues, Dedrick.
Thank you, Colleen. Right now, Charlotte-Mecklenburg police are investigating why 4 people were shot at a home in West Charlotte. It happened this morning on Boston Street. That's off Wilkinson Boulevard. Medic tells us one person was taken to Carolina's Medical Center with life-threatening injuries. Police say the 3 other victims drove to the hospital on their own. Police have not released any details about any potential suspects. A man in Rowan County is in jail tonight, accused of sex crimes involving children. 25-year-old Benjamin Ross Hollyfield, you see him there, is being held under a $1 million bond. We're working to learn more details about the case. This is what we do know. Hollyfield was arrested last night on charges of taking indecent liberties with children and statutory rape sex offense. New at 6, take a look at this massive hole in the side of a church in Cabarrus County. It happened after a car crashed into the building this morning. Now, the sanctuary's name is Grace Church, located right in Harrisburg. Witnesses say the woman driving hit the gas pedal instead of the brakes. No one was hurt. Church members tell us services will still be held there tomorrow. Well, there's a new place where you can shop in Charlotte's South End. The new Publix grocery store on South Boulevard had its grand opening this morning. Publix is planning to build more stores in North Carolina. The first Publix in the state opened back in February. The company already has stores across the border in Cay and Indian Land.
Oh, that's scary.
That's Phyllis Davis's reaction when I showed her how many sex offenders live within a 1-mile radius of her child's bus stop. Nearly 40.
Oh my God.
One charged with raping a 14-year-old, another for sexual battery.
It made me very nervous. Very nervous.
And with a 3-mile radius from her kindergartner's bus stop, nearly 200 sex offenders.
It don't need to be that close.
Other neighbors' reaction?
I needed to know that, not just for my grands, but for me.
This year, the Charlotte-Mecklenburg School District received 3 complaints of sex offenders living too close to a bus stop. CMS had no idea. Why? The district doesn't check the addresses of sex offenders before deciding on the location of a bus stop.
Only when it's brought to our attention as an issue.
Kevin DeVore is CMS's routing and scheduling manager. DeVore says the reason for not checking addresses is sex offenders are highly transient and changing bus stops would be a constant.
You have to continue to manage the data as it moves on such a large scale. I don't know that it could be manageable with the current staffing that we have right now.
I found out if parents speak up, the district will act, but CMS leaves the decision to move the stop to the parent. Out of those 3 complaints, 2 bus stops were moved, 1 remained. We told parents CMS does not check sex offenders' addresses before deciding bus stops.
The way crime is today, that definitely should be something that we really look at carefully.
That's scary.
Scary, yes, but not illegal. It's not against the law for sex offenders to live near bus stops. However, the law is clear. They cannot live closer than 1,000 feet from schools and daycares. I requested CMS give me a list of its roughly 21,000 bus stops. More than 800 sex offenders live near them. Since CMS doesn't check stops against the addresses of sex offenders, I did. No matter where you live, a sex offender is within a mile away from a bus stop. Here are some examples. In North Charlotte, the bus stop on Orr Road, 16 sex offenders within a mile. In South Charlotte on Johnston Road, 6 sex offenders. In East Charlotte at the stop on Lawyers Road, 12 offenders. In West Charlotte at the bus stop on West Boulevard, 22 sex offenders living within a mile. And in the heart of Charlotte at the bus stop on East 7th Street, 32 sex offenders. With these types of numbers, CMS says it will continue to tackle sex offender complaints.
The last thing that we want to do is obviously to have something happen at our bus stops.
While parents will now check who's living next to them.
I don't trust them because they'll do it again and again.
To help ease your mind, go to WBTV.com and click on my story, and there you will find the link to the sexual registry. Once there, all you have to do is type in your address, and you will find how many sexual offenders live near your child's bus stop. And if you are uncomfortable with that number, you can call CMS to request a change. Educators say enough is enough. Take a look. Nationwide, 7.5 million students miss about a month of school every year. And over at West Charlotte High School, about 1,700 students miss more than 2 weeks of class each year. Studies show truancy means trouble. That's why there is a push to get those students back in school. It happened again this morning at One Way Wings and at other businesses along Beatties Ford Road. Students hanging out in the streets when they are supposed to be at school learning.
It's an everyday thing.
Derek Johnson is the owner of One Way. He encourages the truant students to go back to school.
It takes a village to raise kids.
And he discourages them to stay at his business during school time.
But I'm not going to feed them or take their money because, again, that's buying into what they want to do.
Johnson has come up with a solution. He hires truant students if they stay in school. Raphael Stockdale is one of Johnson's employees. He skipped school often.
It's easy to, get sunk in just like, I don't feel this class, so I'm about to walk on, go to the block.
That's not this student's story anymore. He's now graduating on time, works for a little cash, all thanks to the owner of One Way.
Mentored me, gave me a lot of, tutoring, gave me a lot of, motivation.
This type of approach is now being tried at about 20 businesses near West Charlotte High School. The group, Communities and Schools, will train owners what to say the next time they see a truant at their doorstep.
Challenge them, challenge their potential, speak life in them, more so than just badgering them and telling them what they're not, tell them what they are.
They hope this softer side approach will change the absenteeism at West Charlotte High.
It's a very serious issue that has to be addressed.
Johnson is on board with this. He says it worked for Stockdale. Why can't it work for others?
These are my children. This is my community. So how can I not be engaged?
Now that specialized training for those businesses starts next week. They will get a sign to place in their window to inform students who skip school someone is watching them and, most importantly, cares for them. All right, then. Well, thank you for joining us. That's our news for tonight at 6. The CBS Evening News is next. And, of course, we'll be right back here at 11. We'll see you then. Stay safe.